artistic director intern for the semester, Izzy. Thanks. Carol, I got your email. I know you said 2 to 3 minutes. 2 questions. How do you feel about PowerPoint and data? And do y'all really want to let me talk for 2 to 3 minutes? Okay. Thank you to the Carbonell board, to our supporters, to our friends at FAU, to everyone who has worked with us over the past 8 seasons. When an individual accepts a contract in an organization, they are co-signing for that organization's mission and reputation. To those of you who have shared your time and talent with us, we are all incredibly grateful and hope that you feel just as proud of this recognition as we do. To our small but mighty staff, ever since my time as a high school theater teacher, I've had a working theory that there are 2 types of people who choose careers in this industry. Those who truly love it and believe deeply in the power of this art form to transform lives and communities, and those who didn't get enough attention as children. I am incredibly fortunate to be surrounded by the former. Can I ask our Theater Lab team to stand and be recognized? Why I have the great honor of standing here tonight and accepting this award on your behalf. And of course, the doctor himself, founding director Louis Tyrrell. Lou, I will never adequately find words to express what your mentorship, friendship, and faith has meant and continues to mean to me. Love you, partner.
I love you, man.
You have a bar, man. I'd also like to take a second to thank someone who's not technically an employee of the lab, but without whom none of this would be possible, at least for me. Nikki, I've told you this before, but since I've never had the chance to be up here and might not ever again, I figured it was worth saying. In addition to being the love of my life and my very best friend, you are my constant inspiration. Your bravery and belief to sit up in bed one night over a decade ago and say we can do and be more is the sole reason I can stand here tonight.
Yes.
And I know that we've had some recent disappointments, but I want you to know that our little motto has not changed. We're just going to continue to show these mofos what the fuck is up. In August of 2015, Lou, Lauren Palmieri, and I walked into an abandoned food court in the first floor of a freshman dorm on campus of FAU. And immediately started the work of turning a frozen yogurt shop into a functioning theater. And by the way, as anyone who has worked there can tell you, with no permanent alterations to the footprints of the space, it is basically a yogurt shop. We could literally be slinging froyo again in 2 weeks. Which is why I will continue to tell anyone who will listen, and those of you who won't, about the incredible work of our designers, Michael McLean, John C. Stammer, John Stammer, Matt Corey, Thomas Rock, and many others. You all make magic, and you make it look too easy. 7 years later, that space has been the site of 16 world, U.S., or regional premiere productions, over 100 developmental readings of new plays, which have gone on to have hundreds of productions in theaters across the country. It's true, we have a map in the lobby that can show you that. It is the place where more than 10,000 students in grades 3 through 12 have experienced live theater, many for the first time, learned how to identify and utilize the parts of the story, and where hundreds of those students have performed and shared their original stories with the world. It is where hundreds of our fellow theater makers have made connections and art in the insane undertaking of the Overnight Theater Project. And when we couldn't be in that physical space for a year, it was digital home to readings, new audio plays, and 2 online monologue festivals, which raised more than $8,000 in support to our community when they needed it the most. All of this happens because we believe deeply that theater is an act of community. What happens on our stage is only a portion of what we do, of what we believe our purpose is in our community, to be a place where people feel welcomed, valued, and part of something. If the pandemic taught us anything, I hope it is that there is only one essential ingredient in theater: people. It is therefore incumbent upon us as an industry to begin all of our decision-making with people in mind. Budgets are moral documents. Artists and technicians' lives and humanity are not in intermission while rehearsals and performances are in session. Real community engagement requires reciprocal engagement. No one struggling with the first 2 tiers of Maslow's pyramid is likely to have their life changed by a play. Educational outreach is more than bringing kids to see a show. That is literally step 1 in Bloom's taxonomy. If, for some reason, the moral obligation to this is unclear, then I would remind you that there is actually a legal obligation. The frank truth is that according to the tax filing status the majority of our organizations enjoy, we are not in the entertainment industry. We are in the community support industry. Which reminds me of a joke. 3 not-for-profits walk into a grant panel. The first wants to secure temporary and semi-permanent housing for LGBTQ youth who experience homelessness at a far higher rate than the general population and are currently sent to shelters still delineating residents by binary genders. It's a real thing. If you're interested in helping with that, get in touch with our Fund Foundation. The second wants to provide free cooking classes to youth in the foster care system so that when they age out, they have the necessary skills to budget, shop, prepare, and eat healthy food. Don't steal that one, it's Nikki Fried's idea. And the third wants to put on a play and charge people what a minimum wage worker makes in 2 full days of work just to come see themselves represented. Okay, maybe it's not a joke. But it is the very real perception of those who could but do not currently support arts funding. The point is, approaching the work through community is not just a moral obligation, it is the only way to ensure our survival as an industry. I'm going to leave you with a thought that I first heard expressed by Reginald Douglas, the artistic director of Mosaic Theater Company in DC. I don't recall the exact quote, and I've cribbed it a little bit, but I do want to give him credit for that first spark. We at Theater Lab are not in the business of theater. We are in the business of making the world, or at least our little corner of it, a better place. Theater is just the medium which we use. And you're all invited to join us. Thank you very much, and we can't wait to see you soon at the lab.